Hi guys, Steve from Vintage Classic 71. Today I figured I'd show you kind of a mixed bag of vintage baseball and a couple other things I picked up in the last week or so. Hope everybody's having a good week. It's Monday as usual, my video day. We had snow here in Massachusetts last night. We got about 2 or 3 inches, not a lot, but just enough to make it a pain in the butt in the morning. So hopefully where you are, it's nice weather-wise and everything. All right, I'm going to start off. My wife and I went to an antique shop maybe about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, and I found a couple magazines there. One was a 1948 Football Digest. I got to get holders for these. They're still in the packages that it came in, but let's see if I can hold it better like that. Just thought it was pretty neat. Like I said, 1948. So it's not like something you come across all the time. I love old magazines. I did a video maybe a year ago. I probably do another one again soon. But and I showed a bunch of magazines from excuse me, from the 1950s and 60s and 70s. And I'm always on the lookout for them. If I come across some magazines or books that are old or they catch my eye, I pick them up and stuff. As long as it's a decent price. But that's a 1948 Football Digest. All right. I'll put this at the end. Another one is a 1948, also the sport magazine. It's got Frankie Brimzik, the Bruins goalie back then. It's a good magazine's in good shape. The back of it. It was February of '48, and it was 25 cents. It says How to Fix a Prize Fight. I don't know if that's a good thing. The Yankees, Nobody Knows by Mel Allen. Meet Notre Dame's great basketeer Kevin O'Shea, and of course Frank Brimzik from the Bruins, great goalie for them. The Days of No Mask. That's that one. Then the other one is also from '48. It's a sports album magazine, and it has Joe DiMaggio on the cover. There we go, right there. On the back is another huge icon. You got Joe Louis on the back of that right there. See it too well. I think this one was $7, and the other magazine was $6, and the book was $8. None of them were very expensive, but this one's got a little bit of a papers bent back a little bit in the top corner. But I mean, from 1948. I couldn't resist getting that, especially with Joe DiMaggio on the cover of it. Can't speak today for some reason. Then I got a book recently. Dwight Evans has a book out called Dewey, Behind the Gold Glove. And it's signed by him along with the author. Right there, signed by Dwight Evans. I haven't read it yet, but it's on my list. Right there's the back of it. This is a guy that, in my opinion, should definitely be considered more for the Hall of Fame. Why he hasn't got in, I don't know. But I feel maybe now that Dave Parker has gotten in, they'll take another look at Dwight Evans. He's one. Dale Murphy's another one. There's quite a few of them that, the guys that are overlooked. Maybe that's a video that I've been thinking about doing a video on players that should be in Hall of Fame. I'll talk a little bit about them, their stats, and I'll show a couple cards from them. Maybe that's something that might be interesting to see. Let me know what you guys would think about that. All right, this came today. In fact, I didn't have a '72 Nolan Ryan, and I got this in the 3, but it's outstanding. The color and the centering and everything. I love this card. I don't know why I didn't pick it up many years ago, but back of it, like I said, it's a PSA 3. Outstanding color. No paper loss. It's well centered. One little soft corner down in the below, but I mean, yeah, I love this card. To me, it's perfect. So, '72 was a great year for all the top sports cards. They all there was a time in the '70s. I was 9 years old. I mean, I'm not talking like I was an active member, but in '72, I do remember the people along here, as you call them, hippies, with the vans and the peace signs and all that stuff. But and the cards were colorful. There were psychedelic colors. '72 football, '72 baseball. 71, 72 hockey, and the basketball. They're all colorful cards, all great looking cards, great looking sets to work on. But this is a Nolan Ryan one that I had wanted for a while, so figured I'd show you that today. Went to a friend of mine's house and picked up a few cards, and we were trading back and forth with stuff, and gave him a bunch of football cards for baseball, but managed to get this 1965 Tony Perez rookie, which I did not have. He's on there with Kevin Collins from the Mets and Dave Ricketts from the catcher from the Cardinals. Like I said, it's a 1965. And it is Tony Perez, this rookie card, Hall of Famer. So I was really happy to get this card. All right. Now we'll just start showing you a bunch of cards. I pulled out some that I had, some I got from, like I said, from my friend the other day, some I already had, just to show you some different things. Here's a 1965 Willie Horton, Tigers great. 65 is one of my favorite sets from the 60s. The back is blue, the coloring, the pennant with the team name, just the way that they made that set look to me. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. Here's a 65 also of Elston Howard, great Yankees catcher. It's off-centered, but other than that, it's a nice card. I mean, you're talking, what is it, 60 years old? It's going to be 60 years old. Here's a 1972. I have quite a few league leader cards to show you today. This is a 72 tops, 1971 AL pitching leader. It's got Mickey Lolich, Vida Blue, and Wilbur Wood. Wilbur Wood, the great knuckleball pitcher. Trying to get that glare off there. There you go. That's a nice card too. Like I said, 72 is a great looking set. Here's a 1978 Mark the Bird Fidrych. Local kid. Unfortunately passed away in an accident on his farm in Northborough. But he nicknamed the Bird, as everybody knows. He put the ball out in front and be talking to it. I might have another card in here to show you today. It actually looks like he is talking to it. But colorful character. So it's unfortunate that he passed away at an early age. Here's a 1973 card. Batting leaders got Billy Williams and Rod Carew. Two great Hall of Famers. '73 looks like that on the back. And again, one of my favorite sets. I know you're probably thinking I say that about every set, but for the most part, you can't go wrong with any of the old vintage cards. The sets, they're all in their own way were special and unique. So here's a 1973 World Series game number 5. Odom, Blue Moon Odom's going to be out of the plate. Johnny Bench is waiting for the ball. Clearly going to get him. So, as you can see, Bench is right there. And Odom's coming in, ready to slide, but he's going to be out. Here's a 1977 strikeout leaders. You got Nolan Ryan and Tom Seaver. Two great pitchers. The Ryan Express and Tom Terrific. They had... Ryan had 327 strikeouts, and Tom Seaver had 235. Can you imagine 327 strikeouts today? You'll never see a guy strike out that many pitchers, in my opinion. The way the pitchers go today, they just don't pitch the number of innings or anything else. But here's a 1972 AL batting leaders. You got Tony Oliva, Hall of Famer. Bobby Mercer, outstanding player for the Yankees. Giants, Cubs, different teams. And Merv Retman for the Baltimore Orioles. Tony, that year, he hit 337. Mercer was 331, and Merv Retman was 318. So, great averages. Here's the 72 tops AL RBI leaders. You got Harmon Killebrew, Frank Robinson, and Reggie Smith from the Red Sox. That's another name that I was watching a video, and they were talking about outfielders that should be in the Hall of Fame. Reggie's name came up. He definitely has stats, too, that warrant being there. Would I put Dwight Evans in it before him? Yes, but not to say that Reggie Smith doesn't deserve it, too. All right, here's another 72. It's a National League RBI leaders. You got Joe Torre, Willie Stargell, and the great Hank Aaron. I told you guys before, I love the league leader cards. If you're a collector who, is just starting out and you want to get into vintage and you don't have a lot of money to really spend on, high-end cards of great Hall of Fame players, you might want to look into the league leaders. You'll get an opportunity to get, like this one has two on there. You get Stargell and Aaron. Excuse me. You could get Hall of Famers on there. And, it's a nice way to add that to your collection and to have those guys in there. And then in time, when you decide you have more money available or whatever, and you want to buy their individual cards, that's great. But it gives you an easier way to get into the Hall of Fame collecting market and vintage cards. Like I said, you got Stargell and Aaron on there. So you got two great ones right there. And you got a 1964 card, American League home run leaders, Harmon Killebrew, Dick Stewart, and Bob Allison. Harmon Killebrew on the top is a Hall of Famer, as you know. Again, an easier way to get in there. You could pick these cards up for a decent price. I mean, it's only an average shape, but I mean, there's no creasing or anything, paper loss, but the corners are a little soft. You can pick this card up for $5-6, and it gives you a Hall of Famer on it, like I said. So it's always another option to do. Here's a 1969 National League RBI leaders. You got Willie McCovey, Ron Santo, and Billy Williams. Oops, this top one's got. This is not the card. It looks like it's got something on it. Oops. I'm dropping stuff now. But here's a card with McCovey, Santo, and Williams. Like I said, another three great Hall of Famers. Here's another 68 home run leaders in the National League. You got Willie McCovey, Richie Allen, Dick Allen, and Ernie Banks. So you got three Hall of Famers on there. Dick Allen just getting in this. Will be going in this summer. The guy in the middle, very, very, very deserving. Been long overlooked. Happy to see that he got in there. Same thing with Dave Parker, the Cobra. Here's a 69 Jim Palmer. Nice card. Oh, I should have showed you the back. 69 has the orangish color back. It's a nice looking set too. All right. Then you got 1965. You got the National League RBI leaders. You got Ken Boyer of the Cardinals. You got Ron Santo of the Cubs. And the great Willie Mays of the Giants. So there's two Hall of Famers on there for you. All right. Another one from 65. You got the National League home run leaders. You got Willie Mays, Billy Williams, Johnny Carlson, Orlando Cepeda, and Jim Hart. So you'd get three Hall of Famers on that card. All right. 1965, Norm Cash. Great Tigers first baseman. Then you got a 1973 New York Mets. Yogi Berra is the manager, with Rube Walker, Eddie Yost, Roy McMillan, and Joe Paglantano are his assistant coaches. The great Yogi Berra. Another way, like manager cards, another way to get Hall of Famers relatively cheap. This card, you can get it for $3 or $4, 74. Here's a 62 National League ERA leaders, Warren Spahn, Jim O'Toole, Curt Simmons, and Mike McCormick. The great Warren Spahn on the top there. All right, then we got the 72 Thurman Munson, Yankees catcher. Should be a Hall of Fame. I almost said Hall of Fame. He should be in a Hall of Fame. Then we've got a, what is this, 67 checklist, 7th series with Brooks Robinson on it. Another cheap alternative. If you want to pick up a Hall of Famer at a good price, you'd get Brooks Robinson on this one. Next is a 1973. You got the stolen base leaders. Lou Brock from the National League, 63 stolen bases. And you had Bert Campaneris from the American League with 52. All right. Then we got a 1965 World Series card. Bob Gibson wins the final game 7. You show Gibson pitching. It's a nice card. Action shot. Remember, I love the action shots. That's a nice picture though. Yeah, right. Grab some more here. All right, next we have a 1969 Topps checklist card. It's got Bob Gibson on it. I'll go a little faster here for you guys, so you don't have to spend your whole day or night watching me. Here's a 69 Denny McLain, coming off of his 31 win season in 68. You'll never see that again. At least in my opinion, you won't. Here's a 77 Andre Dawson rookie. He's on there with Gene Richards of the Padres, John Scott of the Blue Jays, and Denny Walling of the A's. Andre's up here on the top. Great Hall of Famer. 1975 tops, Rich Gossage, Goose Gossage, Hall of Famer too. Chicago White Sox here, when they used to wear the red and white. In 1974, stolen base leaders card with Tommy Harper led the American League and Lou Brock led the National League. In 1974, Lou Piniella. Make it tap it down there. Nice little action shot at the plate. Looks like Lou swung and missed. Playing for the Kansas City Royals. All right, 74 batting leaders, Rod Carew and Pete Rose. A Hall of Famer and one that probably should be. Not probably, should be. Definitely should be. Here's the 1969 National League strikeout leaders, Bob Gibson, Fergie Jenkins, and Bill Singer. Here's another 69 pitching leaders, American League, Denny McLain, Dave McNally, Louis Tiant, and Mel Stoudemire. Then we got a 1970 strikeout leaders, Fergie Jenkins, Bob Gibson, and Bill Singer. It's a little rough shape on the top. It's a little, corner's a little bit dinged up. But it's a great card to have. I love all the cards. No card to me is not keepable. Or should we say, I have sold cards, but the only cards I ever sell is if I have extras. I have to have 2 or 3 of them before I do. And I only sell to one person, my good buddy Caesar. And what I do is I take that money and I go and buy cards that I don't have. Like the Nolan Ryan I showed you earlier, the 72 Ryan. So Caesar's a great friend of mine too. He's got a really good collection. Starting to get really heavy into baseball. He's got a great hockey collection too. So maybe one day I'll have him as my guest on my show here. Here's a 1970 tops of Bob Gibson. Here's a 68 tops checklist with Orlando Cepeda on it. Another 68, this time with Frank Robinson on the checklist. '68 Bob Gibson. Nice card. Here's a 79 American League and National League RBI leaders. Jim Rice led the American League and George Foster led the National League. That year, Rice drove in 139 runs. So he had a nice year that year for the Red Sox. And we got a 1979 record breaker card with Pete Rose, modern National League record, most consecutive games batting safely. And that was 44 straight that he did. There's Pete. All right, grab another stack here. We've got a 79 strikeout leaders, Nolan Ryan from the American League and J.R. Richards from the National League. When they were teammates, it was Richard and Ryan and 3 Days of Crying. Kind of like Spawn and Sane and 3 Days Pray for Rain. But there's Richard and Ryan. Nolan was still on California Angel then. Their numbers were 260 for Ryan for strikeouts, 303 for Richard. So you had 2 big fireballers there. They could really throw the ball. Here's a 79 Dwight Evans. Dewey. And we got a 1979 Dave Parker, the Cobra, going into the Hall of Fame this summer. Long overdue. Like I said just earlier, along with Dick Allen. 2 great choices. Here's the card I tell you about. Here's the Fidrych, Mark Fidrych, the bird, talking to the baseball. If you look, he's got his mouth open, balls in his hands, he's in a wind-up. So, here's a 79 Thurman Munson. '79 Jack Morris, second-year card of Jack Morris. Great Tiger pitcher, amongst other teams. Here's a 68 National League pitching leaders. You got Mike McCormick, Fergie Jenkins, Jim Bunning, and Claude Osteen. So you got 2 Hall of Famers on there. And you got a 68 card again, 67 strikeout leaders. National League, Jim Bunning, Fergie Jenkins, Gaylord Perry. 3 Hall of Famers on that one. And we got a 1970 National League ERA leaders, Juan Marichal, Steve Carlton, and Bob Gibson. 3 of the all-time great pitchers, all 3 Hall of Famers. All right, then we got a 1970 National League RBI leaders, Willie McCovey, Ron Santo, and Tony Perez. 3 great Hall of Famers on there. You see the trend here. It's a good way to go if you want to get some Hall of Famers at a decent price. You get to find these league leader cards, or team leaders too. They have. Here's a 70 National League home run leaders: Willie McCovey, Hank Aaron, and Lee May. You get 2 Hall of Famers and a great player in Lee May. Here's a 71 National League pitching leaders: Bob Gibson, Gaylord Perry, and Fergie Jenkins. You get a 71 Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. Love this card. I love the colors, the green and the yellow. One of my favorite cards from that set. Here's a 1970 Mets Celebrate. We're number 1. And Nolan Ryan's right in there, right below my finger is Nolan Ryan. Right there. Then you got a 1970 Willie McCovey All-Star card. And you got a 1970 Hank Aaron All-Star card. And we got a 1965 National League strikeout leaders: Bob Vila of the Pirates, Bob Gibson of the Cardinals, and Don Drysdale of the Dodgers. A lot of people don't think about Bob Vila, as how powerful he was. He had 250 strikeouts that year. Bob Vila was overlooked a lot. I'm not talking like I really saw him in his heyday, but what I've seen and read and watched old videos, he was a dominating pitcher. And you guys probably saw him out there. You probably could say more about it. So, a few more to go. Here's a 63 Joe Nuxhall. Nuxhall was actually in the major leagues at the age of 16. There he is with the Reds. And a 1973 runs batted in leader, Johnny Bench and Dick Allen. 2 Hall of Famers. 73 World Series, game number 2. A's make it 2 straight. Great action shot right there. Turn 2, double play. Here's a 74 Oakland A's card. I just threw this in because I love the colors. You had the managers were in white, and the players were either in yellow or the green, but the management was all in white. Here's a 74 rookie outfielders: Ed Armbruster, Rick Blatt, Brian Downing, Bake McBride. Ed Armbruster, the guy right here, not well liked in Boston due to that 1975 play at the plate when I say he interfered with Carlton Fisk, but it wasn't called that way, so he's kind of a villain in Boston. Here's David Clyde. He actually came up to the major leagues at the age of 18 and pitched for the Rangers. It's the 1975 tops. Another colorful, good-looking set. 75 Al Habrowski, the Mad Hungarian. And we got a 75 Doc Medich. Every time I went to a game, it seemed like when I was a kid, in the Yankees or the Rangers, whatever, Doc Medich always seemed to be pitching. That's why I put his card in here today. It's funny how you remember things, but Doc Medich was always on the mound almost every time I went. Here's a card that I think it's the only one that I know of. He's actually listed as a pinch runner, Herb Washington of the A's. If you look down there at the bottom, it says, if you can read it, pinch runner. I don't think there's another card that I know of anyways where the player's position is only listed as pinch runner. So here's 2 Diamond Kings, recent ones, 20th anniversary ones. This is a Mike Schmidt. It's numbered to 1242 out of 1984. Diamond Kings are also some of my favorite cards to collect. Here's the number on the back for you, the bottom. That's Mike Schmidt. Same thing, here's a Diamond King Steve Carlton, number 381 of 1,983. And we got a 19, what is this? 84 of Andre Dawson. And this is a 1981. Yeah, 81 Kellogg's. Mike Schmidt. Oops. Boy, I'm having a hard time today. Sorry for that. It's Mike Schmidt Kellogg's card. As you guys know, I'm a big Kellogg's and Hostess collector. I have a lot of those. And the last card is a hockey card. It's John Davidson. Used to be the announcer on games. I believe I don't know if he does Rangers games anymore, but he did for a while. This is actually his rookie card, goaltender with the St. Louis Blues. This is a 1974-75. All right. That's all I have card-wise and stuff to show you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it, half as much as I enjoy showing them. So, but I hope everybody has a great week. Being that it's Monday, hope you have a good week all this week. May God bless you and your families. May you continue collecting. That's my saying, keep collecting. Collect what you can afford and what you like. And you always remember, build your collection because it's the way you want to build it, not the way you see other people collecting. I mean, unless you like what they collect. But you always want to collect what makes you happy, which brings joy to you. Because what this hobby is all about is joy. It's a hobby, but it brings brings you a happy time. It puts you in a good place. And that's the key thing. And it's a lot of fun doing it. There's no hobby, like I've said a million times, that I'd rather be involved in than baseball card collecting, football, basketball, hockey, just sports memorabilia. So, but again, thank you for taking the time out of your day today to watch me, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.